So, if you clicked on this video, then you came to find out why your natural hair routine sucks, and probably why your hair is not growing. I'm just kidding. Did you like my title? I just thought I love these titles whenever Jackie Aina does these videos and she talks about why your concealer routine sucks and why your foundation routine sucks. But honestly, I'm not here to attack you. I'm just giving you some tips on some things that you might be doing wrong or that you don't realize you're doing wrong or enough, and they might be stunting your hair growth or preventing your hair growth or stopping your hair from growing. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, I have about 10 points. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post natural hair videos. My passion is to help you grow long natural hair. I am on a journey myself. I do a little bit of skincare and makeup here and there only when requested, and I'm trying to add in a little bit more fun entertainment on this channel. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Let's get straight into the first thing you're probably doing that's kind of making your natural hair routine suck. And little disclaimer, if you haven't seen my hair in this hairstyle before, no, I did not cut my hair. The shrinkage is just real, okay? We're still there. We're still there. Okay, so the first one is you either wash your hair too much or you wash your hair too little. Now, this is one of the things, washing your hair is one of the things out of almost anything in the natural hair routine that really has to be a personal thing. You can try out what different YouTubers do and then see which one works for you. So for me, I always say this, I co-wash my hair once a week and I co-wash 3 times out of the month. And on the 4th week, which means 1 time a month, I use an actual shampoo. That might not work for you. You might have to use a shampoo every week. You might not even wash your hair at all for 2 weeks. So you might look at a YouTuber and be like, she washes her hair 4 times a week and that's when her hair started growing and now her hair is all the way down my back. So I'm going to do the same thing. You can try it, but if it doesn't work for you and your hair is feeling dry and you're not seeing changes, your hair is not growing, stop. The same way you see me and you say, oh, well, I know this girl who doesn't wash her hair at all for 2 weeks. She does not even use a shampoo for 3 weeks. She only uses an actual shampoo once a week. And her hair is growing so fast. So I'm going to do that. And then you do it and then it doesn't work. So test out whatever works for you. And then once you figure it out and you see like, I think my hair is thriving, it's feeling soft, it's not breaking, and it's growing when I wash my hair X amount of times, stick to that. The next one is such a big one. I think I've said this multiple times. I know people personally, non-personally, who do this all the time. Why your natural hair routine is not working to grow your hair is because part of your routine is a trim. Trims should not be part of your routine. You trim your hair when you have split ends. That's it. If you want to cut your hair short, that's totally fine. But don't say your hair is not growing, your natural hair routine is not working, because it's kind of like you forget you did it. You cut your hair 4 times or 5 times, or even twice a year, you cut like 4 inches off your hair. You cut 6 inches off your hair. If you're wondering why your hair is not growing, it's because you're cutting it off. And then when it comes to the trims, some stylists will be like, come every 6 weeks, come every 3 months. If you go after 3 months and your hair is growing at the average rate of 1/2 inch a month, that means you've grown 1/2 inch of hair. If you go there and every time you trim your hair, you trim off 1 inch or 1/2 inch, you have just lost a month or 2 months of hair. So by the end of the year, you probably lose like 4 inches and you only have 2 inches of growth from the entire year because you scheduled your trims. Do not do that. Trim your hair when you have split ends. If you get split ends every 3 months, unfortunately, you're going to have to cut your hair every 3 months because you have to get rid of the split ends. They'll continue going up. But if it's been 6 months and you still have no split ends, do not cut them off. There's nothing to cut off. Your hair is healthy. It is fine. You will retain much more length if you don't cut off hair that does not need to be cut off. Let's get to the third one. The third one is you bleach or dye your hair. Now, I know in the natural hair community and the natural Nazis who like to come for everyone with relaxed hair and be like, those chemicals are damaging your hair. I can't believe you're using combs in your hair. I can't believe you're doing this. And then they bleach their hair and they dye it. Like, sis, you put chemicals in your hair. It's still the same thing as a relaxer. You just didn't straighten your hair with the chemicals. You decided to change the color of it. Now, I am not saying there's a problem with this. If you want to do this only for aesthetic purposes, you don't care about hair growth, YOLO. If I could dye my hair blonde and have no repercussions and no damage to my hair at all, literally it was like a conditioner, I would probably do it, not gonna lie. But I'm on a hair growth journey. I want my hair to grow long. I want to keep a certain amount of length and retain it, so I will not bleach or dye my hair. Now, bleaching your hair is worse than dyeing your hair because bleaching your hair is taking the color out, and that can be extremely drying, whereas dyeing your hair is depositing color onto your hair, and it's still damaging but not as damaging, but both have drying effects. Bleaching is just way worse. So if you do this a lot, that might be a reason why your hair is not growing. It's not that your hair is not growing, it's just that your hair is extremely dry and brittle, and you're probably not taking care of your dye job very well, which means every time your hair grows to a certain length, it just breaks off. And now it seems like your hair is not growing. It is growing. Hair is always growing, no matter how slow or fast, it is growing. If you're bleaching and dyeing your hair, you are possibly damaging it. If you are on a hair growth journey, just try and not do that for a certain amount of months, or maybe a year or so, or two, depending on how long you're trying to grow your hair. I think once you reach your goal length and you want to try and just maintain it, then you can go ahead and try and like bleach and dye. It still could cause damage and cause breakage, but if you're at your length, you could just try your best to maintain it wherever it is. But if you're trying to grow your hair much longer, I would suggest, really suggest, against dyeing and bleaching your hair. The fourth one is you probably don't moisturize your hair. Now, moisturizing your hair, I know is kind of a little bit difficult. Like, you're not sure how to do it sometimes. Should you do it on dry hair? Should you do it on wet hair? Actually, if you watch my video on how to grow your hair with rose water, which is basically how I get these twists, that's when I do like my deep moisturizing treatment once a week. So if you want to see a deep video and details on how to moisturize your hair, you can check that video out. I'm just going to brief you here. So what I do with my own hair is I do like a proper deep moisturizing treatment once a week on my wash day. And I don't want to suggest the exact products because I think it's more about the routine than the actual products, because different products work for different people. But just in case you want to know, I use the African Pride leave-in cream, and then I just use whatever oil mix I have available at the time, or a plain oil. And so I do it on wet hair. I added my leave-in cream, I add in my oil without a gel, I twist my hair, and then I usually just leave it in these twists. I can't tell you how to moisturize your hair because I don't know what hairstyle you have. You might be in box braids, you might have a weave on, you might have just your hair out, which is even easier to moisturize. So depending on the hairstyle you have, that would depend on how you will moisturize your hair. Not when, just how. You still have to moisturize your hair at least once a week. If you have to go like the minimum amount, at least once a week, you should moisturize your hair. Moisturized hair grows faster. It's a great environment for your scalp. It gets nice and warm as you massage your scalp, and your hair is nice and soft. It makes you retain the length that you have, because retaining length is the quickest way to get longer hair. Retaining your length, again, retaining your length is the quickest way to get longer hair because your hair is always growing. If you can prevent as much breakage as possible, you will get the most growth that you can possibly get. Moisturize your hair, guys. And remember, your hair is like a flower, okay? If you want it to grow, you need to water it. And the best moisturizer is free. It's just water. Please, no matter what anyone tells you, oil is not a moisturizer. No matter how hydrating it might feel, most carrier oils like olive oil, almond oil, avocado oil, they have some water in them. That's why it's easy for them to carry nutrients and stuff. But that water is not enough to moisturize your hair because it is mostly oil. You have to put moisturizer first. Even if your moisturizer is just water, then you can seal it in with an oil. If you seal in the oil on dry hair, you're just sealing in the dryness. This sixth tip is one of the tips that causes severe damage to a lot of people. And the reason why the damage is so severe is because it's not instant damage. You know, like when you bleach your hair or when you get heat damage, once you wash your hair, like, oh, I did something bad, you can instantly see the effects. Or if you use a protein treatment that's too strong for your hair, you're going to instantly see the effects. With this one thing, you don't see the effects instantly unless you get a burn. These effects will come maybe even years later. They'll just stunt your growth. It's just a bad situation. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it is using pure essential oils on your scalp. Guys, essential oils are highly, highly concentrated. That is why they sell them in little tiny bottles. And I'm talking about things like peppermint oil, rosemary oil, tea tree oil. And things like peppermint oil and tea tree oil, it's kind of easier for you to not go too far, because if you put a lot of it, you're gonna burn. You will feel the burn. Feeling the burn, by the way, does not mean your hair is growing. feeling a little bit of tingling when it's mixed in with another oil. That is sending blood flow to your scalp. It's kind of like brushing your teeth and you have that minty fresh feeling in your mouth. It's kind of the same in your scalp. It sends blood flow there. It helps stimulate your hair growth. But if you are putting pure essential oils on your scalp, especially ones like lavender oil and what other one can I think of right now? It's gone out of my head. Lavender oil, maybe something like orange oil, rosemary oil. These do not burn. So you're not going to feel any like burning sensation. So when you put it on your scalp, you're just going to think, this is a hair growth oil. It's fine. It feels great. I don't feel like my hair is burning. In the long term, though, you will see those effects. It's damaging on your skin, on your hair. Anything that potent just should not be put on your scalp. It is an irritant. It can cause you to have dry patches on your scalp because that oil is also very dry. And a dry scalp leads to dandruff, leads to you scratching, leads to damaged hair follicles, slower hair growth, and just don't do it. The seventh tip is probably one of the most important points. And this is the reason why your hair routine sucks. And this is you have no routine. Simple answer. If you think of literally anything in your life that has no routine, it's usually a mess. So if you have no routine for your hair, there's a high chance that that is why it is not doing well and not growing, because you need to have a routine, even if it is super simple. Like you say, I will wash my hair every Sunday. So that's once a week. Or I wash my hair every other Sunday, 2 days a week, whatever. Like I said, I gave you the tips. You decide when to moisturize. You decide when to do whatever you want. But decide, if you say, I'm going to wash my hair once a week on a Sunday, then on Wednesday, I'm going to moisturize my hair. And then I will make sure that I detangle my hair on Saturday night and do a little pre-poo or whatever it is. No matter how long or short your hair care routine is, even if you use things like protein treatments, if you use rice water, if you use onion juice, you have to schedule those in. You can't be like, I'm using onion juice today, then, oh, I think I want to try rose water. I'm going to try rose water tomorrow. Then you know what? You know what? It's been 4 days. I think now I want to try rice water. You're mixing in all these different things. You have no routine. You don't know what's working and what's not working because you just do things randomly. If you want to have significant hair growth that you can actually track and see that it's doing well, have a hair routine. The eighth one is using natural hair remedies that don't work for you. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I've tried a bunch of things. I've tried coffee oil, I've tried onion juice, rose water, rice water, aloe vera, but there are so many different things I've tried. And a lot of the time I try them because a lot of you recommend them to me, and I have no problem being a little guinea pig and trying out the things for you. But if I do something and I find that it doesn't work, I'm just not going to do it again. But you guys know rice water works amazing for me. I've used onion juice and I'm liking the results so far. Rose water, I have always loved the results. I just kind of forgot about it, but I've started using it again. So those things work for me. If I start seeing this new trend of whatever going around on YouTube and everybody's using it and it's making their hair grow, and then I try it and it makes my hair feel dry and hard, I'm never going to use it again. No matter how amazing it is for other people, I just won't use it. And the other thing with natural products is because we're making them ourselves, the formula is unstable, okay? So you can't keep it for a long time. It is very time consuming. So because maybe you fixated on the thing that rice water makes your hair grow, you might be not as willing to wash your hair because maybe you don't have rice that day. You don't want to make the rice water because you're tired and you're like, I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And then I'm just going to do it tomorrow, when you could actually just buy something quickly and make it work. Everything that we recommend, like the natural products, are just something you can try if you have the time. But if it's going to break your routine, just stick to your routine and go out of that. Also, this applies to any other products. Just because I recommend a deep conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, or whatever, if it doesn't work for you, don't continue using it. Find another use for it. Give it away. Swap it with someone. The ninth thing is, if you've tried a bunch of things as well, whether it's natural remedies, store-bought products, whatever you try, if you've tried a bunch of things and you find stuff that is actually working, take a pause on all the crazy things that are always popping up in YouTube. Of course, it is fun to try out new things and new hair growth hacks and whatever. But once you find something that's actually working for you, for example, rice water works amazing for me. So no matter what I try, even if I try other things, unless I find something that is way better than rice water, I will still occasionally go back to rice water and use it and then test out the other treatments in between. And this is kind of my job. It's what I do on this channel. So I kind of have to try those things. But if you find something that's working amazing, it's making your hair soft, it's making your hair grow, stick to it for a while. Even if it's like if you want to give yourself a time frame, like 3 months, 6 months, whatever, just stick to that routine and see how it works. If it's continuing to do well, continue doing that. Occasionally, if you want to test something in and see if it helps, wait a couple months in between those experiments just to see if it's actually helping your hair or not. The 10th tip is very important, and this is every time you want to do a new protective style or something where your hair is going to be like you're doing something on your hair for a specific amount of time, like a month, which is where you usually have about a half an inch of hair growth. You should take pictures or length checks. I do not suggest using a measuring tape because I don't like to get fixated on the numbers, and I think it's just not healthy for you to be like, I have to make sure this month I have to get half an inch of hair and next month I have to have 1 inch of hair, because 1 month your hair might grow way faster and then you're expecting that from the next month and it doesn't happen, or 1 month your hair might grow way slower than usual and you're demoralized and then you don't want to measure again. So I would just suggest just like using a t-shirt like this, just like pull your hair down, see where it reaches, like, okay, it's there. And then whatever hairstyle you wear your hair in the most, whether it is just fluffed out, in a braid out, whatever, however you wear your hair, take a picture of your hair like that before you try the new thing, whether even if it's an old thing like a protective style. If let's say you do your hair in box braids all the time, take a picture of your hair before the box braids and then take a picture of your hair after the box braids. And the reason you want to do this is you want to see if your hair is longer, if it is exactly the same, if it is shorter, if it looks thinner, like finer, if it looks thicker. And the reason why you want to do this is because this is what's going to tell you if your protective style or whatever you did to your hair is working or not. If you do something like box braids or cornrows and your hair looks exactly the same afterwards, that's totally fine, because there's a chance that you just really can't see the growth, because like half an inch on hair with shrinkage looks like nothing. So if it just looks the same, that's perfectly fine. If your hair starts to look a little bit thinner, your ends are looking rough, you probably shouldn't do that hairstyle for a while or find a different way to do it. And that's just something that's just going to help you, because sometimes you don't realize that you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's damaging your hair over and over and over again. If you want more tips like this, give this video a big thumbs up and hit my face right there to subscribe, because I have tons of videos on topics just like this. If you didn't subscribe in the beginning, and hit the bell. Also hit my face here if you'd like to subscribe to my other channel that I just post like YouTube tips if you want to start a YouTube channel, and watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my older videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!